When it comes to all of this online marketing, especially search engine optimization, which basically means getting your local business to rank high on Google search engine to generate leads for your business, it only seems natural that some businesses are going to be a complete bloodbath of competition online. And then there's some businesses that are a complete cakewalk and incredibly easy to get your business ranking at the top of those search results. So, how do you know if you're in one of those industries and one of those businesses that is a complete bloodbath of competition as compared to one of those is a total piece of cake to get to the top of the search engine? What up there, guys? Izzy here once again with Get Busy LLC, helping local businesses get their business found on Google with good website design and search engine optimization and get them placed in front of the people looking for the service they already have. In this video, I want to talk about industries and the competitiveness of getting their business ranking at the top of the search engines, search engine optimization for certain businesses. Now, when you're in business and you finally realize that you need to get your business on Google, on the Google Maps listings, to get people to find you for the service you provide in that local market that you provide that service in, you're going to find that some industries are unbelievably competitive, while other ones are basically a vast wasteland of zero competition at all. And it totally depends on that industry. So in this video, I want to show you guys how you can see if you're in one of those businesses that is going to be very competitive and very difficult to rank on Google as compared to ones that are really easy, and sometimes just building out a website that's set search engine optimized is all you really need. So I'm going to share with you guys some examples that of some of the stuff that I've seen, and I give you guys just a rough estimate of what it would really take, like building something online plus money wise to get a certain business or a certain industry to rank in at least three pack and the top of the Google search results. So naturally, right off the top of your head, there's some industries that have understood this SEO stuff, this website design, this Google thing for a very long time. Some of the first ones that I can think of are like carpet cleaning businesses. So if you're in carpet cleaning, you're going to have your work cut out for you unless you've been in the industry for a long time. You already have some kind of web presence, some kind of listing online for a while. Then all you have to do is just work on it, optimize it, and start building that stuff up. Compared to somebody who just started a carpet cleaning business in a particular town, you're going to have a one brutal uphill battle, at least online on Google. Out in the real world, you can market in all kinds of different ways, but I'm just talking here strictly ranking on Google. Plumbers, that's another one that some of the first industries started to understand all of the search engine optimization, all this website design. That one's very competitive. HVAC, AC, heating repair, that kind of thing is another one that's very competitive these days. So someone new getting into the industry has got the work cut out for them. Again, they might be in business for 20 years, but if they don't have any online presence whatsoever, they're going to have a really difficult time as to compare to somebody who's got some kind of online presence, something going on for like 3 or 4 or 5 years. And all you have to do is go in there and start optimizing and fixing things up. And there's other industries as well. Junk removal has absolutely skyrocketed, I would say, in the last 2 to 3 years, especially since COVID. The competition for website design, search engine, Google Ads, all that stuff is off the charts when it comes to junk removal services. Same as roofing. Roofing's another one that's very difficult to compete against. Again, unless you're in a small area where your competitors are not even online or anything like that, but in a bigger town, a bigger area where the roofing contractors have been in the industry for a while and they have some kind of online presence. Some of them already hired search engine optimization type services, website design, ongoing social media management, all kinds of different things. So they've already kind of like embedded themselves on Google in that particular area. So it's going to be very difficult for you to compete against some of things like that. And then there's industries that are completely wide open. And it blows me away because some of these contractors I do speak to have no idea that they could just build the basic stuff and get themselves to the top of the search engines. Industries like demolition service. There's a lot of demolition contractors. I know that's big money. And when you look online, there's barely anybody doing anything online when it comes to something like that. Concrete contractors, huge advantage you would have. Asphalt paving contractors, the exact same thing. Wide open in some areas. Deck builders, fence builders, fence repair, that type of thing. Even some home remodel contractors, home repairs. I remember building out a website for a guy who does screen repairs out in Chicago. He's virtually got no competition. Sure, there might be 10, 15, 20 people that might do it in that whole metro area, but the people doing it have absolutely no idea about Google, a website design, or anything like that. So when we went out there and built out his website and restructured, built it all SEO optimized, he went out there and got his reviews. He's ranks at the top of the search results with virtually no effort and no needed extra cost to get his business towards the top. Just that well optimized website and then continuously kicking ass and getting a lot of great reviews. So let me show you guys some quick examples just to give you guys an idea. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys how to figure out if you're in a competitive market and give you kind of a rough idea of what's going to take to get you to the top of the Google search results, depending on your situation. So the very first thing like I said, I always recommend here on my channel is the most simplest, basic, cheapest SEO tool for a local business to use. It's called Keywords Everywhere. It's cheap. It's about $70 for the whole year. And like I tell business owners, all you're worried about is just your website. There's no need to get all these expensive SEO tools and SEO services and crap like that. You just need this, and it'll basically tell you what you need. So, what's the very first one I was talking about? The carpet cleaning. When I first started learning this local SEO and stuff like that, the trainers that showed me how to do this stuff, the very first thing they told me is to stay away from carpet cleaning services. And I said, okay, why is that? Because for me, from what I could tell, they were some of the first ones, of course, besides like law firms and things like that started to figure out this SEO stuff. So you're just going to be competing against people that already know what they're doing. So carpet cleaning. So I'm going to pick the city of Fresno, California, because I believe there's like 500,000 people in that town. It's one of the bigger cities, but it's in the Central Valley of California. So it's very, very competitive, very big city, a big area there. So if I type this in, carpet cleaning, first thing I see is showing me a search volume of 1,000 searches every single month. Like I said, these are just estimates. The cost per click, $2.30. So it means if you're doing some kind of Google Ads campaign, it's going to cost you $2 per click. It's not the lead, it's the click. And like I said, this is just estimates. It could be like $5 a click. I honestly don't have no idea. It just gives you an estimate. So let's just say it's like $3. And let's say it took you 10 clicks just to get a lead, that's $30 per lead. So, and then I've done a little bit of research. These ads right here, they could end up costing, 40, 50, $60 per lead for you to get the Google guarantee and get you into that listing. But now I'm going to show you the organic stuff right here. First of all, look at this guy. The Stanley Steamer is a national chain. You're going to have your ass kicked trying to compete against this guy. Master's Touch, 201 reviews. AEA Carpet Cleaning, 313. They're here at the top. And it's going to show you, you could take a look and see by typing site and then semicolon right after their domain name, just like that. You can see what types of pages they got. It doesn't have a lot of pages. It's not too bad. But let's take a look at his backlinks here. Not too bad on the backlinks. So you might compete against this guy. It's still going to be a lot of work because I'm sure he's got a lot of history online and he's showing up here at the top. Just off the top of my head, you're probably going to need a super SEO optimized website, which could end up costing you about $3,000 to get one of those restructured. And then you start working on an SEO campaign and some backlinking. You're probably going to need 3 to 4 backlinks, and each one of those backlinks is going to cost you about, I don't know, anywhere from like $200, $300, $400, $500 a pop. So let's set aside $1,500 for the backlinks plus adding content and things like that. It's probably going to take about $2,500 a month and several months for you to start to compete against some of these three guys here at the top. And that's, like I said, if you've already been established for a little bit of time. If you're a brand new, it's going to take even longer. Okay, let's take a look at another one. Junk removal in Fresno. Unbelievably competitive. 1,300 monthly searches per month. Cost per click, that's $4.45. Let's take a look and see how much and you can start doing some local. You could do local service area ad costs for junk removal. So what I mean by this is these right here. What's it going to cost you to get an actual lead from the Google guarantee? This tells me about $25 to $90 per lead. Let's just say it's $50 a lead, right? So 10 leads is already $500 right there. Say 20 for the whole month. You're already up to $2,000. So let's take a look at the competition here. You got the Junk King. This is a national franchise. You're gonna get your ass kicked by these guys right here. Everyday Junk Removal's got 184 reviews. Top Junk's 352. So you got your work cut out for you. So let's take a look at one of these sites here. And this website I already can tell because there's a company out there that does digital marketing specifically for junk removal. And I think they're called Junk Removal Authority. And I guarantee you this is probably like a $5,000 to $7,000 website. Let's take a look at the number of pages this guy's got. Look at that. About 50 pages, if not more. They haven't been indexed all the way yet. Let's take a look at some of the backlinks these guys got. So Mr. Clean Junk Removal here, he's got not too many backlinks. Let's see this guy here, not too many backlinks. But like what we need to do is look at these guys' actual business to see if they're getting backlinks. Let's take a look here. I'm going to find their stuff, show backlinks. There you go. See, they already have a backlinking campaign going on right here. So if you wanted, let's say you're a brand new junk removal business in Fresno, you got one hell of a battle to get yourself up to the top of those search results, up into this area right here. You're going to need probably a $5,000 website. You're going to start working on an SEO campaign, and you're probably going to, it's probably going to be around $2,000 a month, if not more, because you're going to need to continue to add content. You're going to need to continue to add backlinks to this website and this listing. Again, those backlinks are going to cost you $200, $300, $400, $500 a pop every single month. Let's just say it's $300 a piece. Let's say you do 5 every single month. That's $1,500 just on the backlinks alone, and especially finding local backlinks and then doing the work to actually put them in there, writing the content where you're going to keep putting out on your website to keep this thing going and keep this thing going. So that's what I'm saying. It could be $2,000, $2,500 a month to rank in Fresno, California for junk removal in that particular area. Now let's try plumbing. Look at this. This is even more competitive. 3,600 searches a month. Cost per click is about $10 a click. I bet you each one of these leads is probably $100 a piece. Probably if not more. I heard like law firms are like 200, so I'm guessing it's somewhere around there. You know, $100 to $200 a lead, and you're going to see the competitiveness here. Look at this guy's 1.5 thousand reviews. This guy's got 100, got a shot. All Star Plumbing 170, and you can take a look at some of these businesses have basically a shit ton of backlinks already structured and got it going here. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. If somebody called me and said you want to do they want to do SEO for plumbing in Fresno, I'm gonna tell them, look, you're just gonna get your ass kicked. It's gonna cost you probably like $4,000 a month just to get some kind of traction going in Fresno. Because look at this competition you got. Look at all the backlinks that guy's got. So you got your work cut out for you when it comes to plumbing. Now let's take some industries that are completely wide open. I did 3 really, really quick ones just to show you. So concrete contractor, search volumes a lot lower, right? Hardly anybody's looking for a concrete contractor. But you got to remember the people that are actually typing this in actually need the damn concrete contractor. So there you go. They have LSAs for them as well, as usually landscape, hardscape contractors and stuff. But look at this guy's only got 22 reviews. This guy's got 23. Sometimes you look at some of these industries and their websites are so basic. They got really nothing going on. Like this one, this is a pretty crappy website just right off the bat. I mean, look at all this broken stuff up here at the top. They got 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. That's it. So if there was a concrete contractor out there who, instead of wasting money on like Home Advisor, Angie's Leads, putting stuff up on Craigslist, any of that crap, they would just go out there and get the listing, set up a badass website, connected all that shit together. You could blow out one of these 3 guys and start getting some reviews. Get your family and a couple of jobs you've done in the past to give you some reviews, and you can start kicking some ass, start getting some leads right there at the top. Another one is Deck Builder in Fresno. Look, no search volume, but that doesn't mean that people aren't looking this stuff up. And what do I see here? One of these listings doesn't even have a website set up. Built Deck Fresno. Let's take a look at this website here. And I can tell you right now, right off the bat, this is not even a real business. This is a lead generating website. This listing's probably not real. It's only a matter of time for Google knocks this damn thing down because Google doesn't like fake listings. Let's take a look at this one. Same thing. Another what they called lead generating website. This is all this is. Again, so if I own any kind of construction, I do a lot of decks, patios, and things like that. No contest right here. Would it still take some time? Of course, you still got to build out the website, get the listing, get reviews, let it marinate online. But in no time, and this is in Fresno, there's a 500,000 people, plus the surrounding city is probably 1,000,000 people. You got a great chance of destroying your competition out there. And there's probably a bunch of deck builders in that area. They're just not online. And then finally, demolition in Fresno, 260 searches a month. From what I understand, this is a high paying type of job for the people that actually do it. So I typed that in, 260 searches a month. Again, small amount of search, but the people searching for that service are very, very specific in what they need. So when you go on here, you're going to see two listings don't even have a website. Look at that. Very few reviews. Let's take a look at backlinks compared to some of these here. Look at this first website, 0 backlinks. Let's take a look at this website, 2 backlinks. Let's take a look at this is the yellow pages. You see what I mean? There's hardly anybody online that Google's even throwing in the yellow pages of all pages. Who the hell goes on yellow pages? So there's the yellow pages on here because there's nothing else Google can show the end user. So if you're a demolition contractor out there, and I'm sure you probably think it's a complete waste of time to get online, and it's not. You set up a badass website, create your Google business profile, hook that damn thing up, get people to give you some reviews, and you're going to start getting some leads for that demolition stuff in your area. So there you have it. Some of the stuff that you can, expect depending on the industry of the business that you're in, what you're up against online and what it's going to cost you depending, like I said, in the industry. As you can see, some industries are completely wide open for getting online and ranking on Google, and other ones are not. It's just going to be a really, really uphill battle, and it's going to take a lot of money. And anybody who tries to sugarcoat it and telling you that it's going to be a piece of cake, it's basically just blowing smoke up your ass. It's not going to happen. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of money to get something like that going. But don't let that discourage you, because there's workarounds. Like, say, if you're that junk removal business out in Fresno, instead of focusing your website on Fresno and that entire area, one of the things I'd recommend is aim for the town of Clovis. So it's just right next to Fresno. Plus, it's a little more lucrative in that area. There's a little more money in that area. I would build my entire Google business profile, my website, everything for the town of Clovis, and just focus on that. You're going to get some people from Fresno, but that's what you would be competing against, because then you're not going to be competing against probably 40 or 50 guys that are all competing for Fresno. You're going to be competing against 10, maybe 10, 15 people competing in Clovis, California. So the same thing in any industry. Just focus on smaller locations, smaller towns, so that you can compete. And if you're in one of those industries, like I said, the deck builder in Fresno, go for Fresno. Screw it. Knock it out of the ballpark and get yourself in there at the top of the search results. And like I said, for some of these, it doesn't take much. Just get that Google business profile set up, start getting some reviews, upload some pictures, hook up a WordPress website that's SEO optimized all the way. And that should be enough to get you start climbing and start ranking and start generating some leads for those industries. So if you guys need help with any of this stuff, you want to do a little bit of market research, figure out where you stand, what you need to get things going. You want to learn how to do all of this stuff on your own, the SEO stuff, the website design, all that stuff's in the description below. And if you guys want to see why I recommend WordPress websites and why I think they're the best, especially for search engine optimization and getting your business at the top, you can check out the video I made here not too long ago talking about that exactly. And that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time.